Hello, everyone, and welcome to Caregiver Chronicles. My name is Sarah, and I'm here with my husband, Jeremy.
Hello.
And today we're going to talk to you about a very, very important topic. I had to say very twice because I had to stress how important it is. Caregiver burnout and caregiver stress. And this topic hits hard for me because it's something I've experienced personally and professionally. It's something that 40% of people with a loved one with Alzheimer's experience. We don't know the statistics on autism and caregiver burnout, but we know that it's pretty high. The stress levels for autism parents are very high. And we know that you can experience burnout and not be taking care of somebody with autism or Alzheimer's. So caregiver burnout is when a caregiver becomes overwhelmed and is physically, emotionally, and mentally exhausted from the stress and burden of caring for a loved one. They may feel alone, unsupported, and unappreciated.
I can't say that I've experienced caregiver burnout yet, but with two boys on the spectrum and everything that goes into with therapies and treatments and dealing with Remy's anxiety on top of it, I've certainly experienced caregiver stress.
Cleaning poop off the walls.
Yes, cleaning poop off the walls.
And off the mattress.
Off the beds, cleaning poop out of the tub.
Constant messes,
Yes.
Everything broken.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's just that's more of our experience with
That's just Joey.
Yeah, that's just Joey.
That doesn't include when Remy has an anxiety attack and we have to try to calm him down before his anxiety leads to Joey having a meltdown.
Exactly. The other thing is, Jeremy doesn't work in healthcare, and I'm not saying his job isn't stressful because all jobs have stress, and media is very stressful. I'm not discrediting that by any means. I know that this is a very hard time to work in the media right now. But, always taking care of somebody at home, in your personal life, and then going to work and taking care of multiple people at work is really, it just increases the chance for burnout and stress. And also, I want to give a special shout out to my mom in this podcast. She's been doing a phenomenal job of taking care of my grandmother, who's, sadly, her dementia has progressed a bit. But yeah, so my grandmother's dementia has progressed significantly, and my mom decided that it was time to get some help, and she did. She's got an aide coming in there to help take care of my grandmother in the mornings. So in a study of 2015, and this is just for Alzheimer's, just for family taking care of Alzheimer's, 40% felt emotionally stressed, 20% stated it caused financial problems, and another 20% stated a physical strain from caring for a loved one. Just with dementia, again, there's so many other conditions that a person can have where they would require a family member to be a caregiver. Not just Alzheimer's, not just autism, anything. A loved one could have a stroke and you have to take care of them. That is stressful. You can get stressed and burnt out. So even though we might kind of zero in on our experiences with Alzheimer's or autism, maybe you take care of somebody who was in an accident, maybe you take care of somebody with Down syndrome or Fragile X or some other kind of disease, whatever it may be, know that Parkinson's is another one, another big one. But whatever it may be, if you're taking care of somebody, know that you are not alone. We have some really, really good resources at the end of this podcast. So please listen to the whole thing. If you're a caregiver, you're going to want to write this stuff down because these are good resources for you. So, yeah, 20% stated that caring for a family member caused financial strain. And 100% I can relate to that. And I think my husband can too. Missing time off work for appointments.
Before the pandemic, we were having people in the home 5 days a week. There's
plus
some outside
plus outside
speech. So there's definitely while insurance will cover a large portion of that still leaves
hundreds.
Still leaves hundreds on us
a month.
A month. It has been it has been stressful because, there are times, things we want to get something for one of the boys or for ourselves, and we sacrifice it because we have to make sure they get their stuff first.
And even, like I said, I can't work as many hours as I normally would have just because Joey's therapies. But my work has been awesome and super supportive, I gotta say. And my husband's has too.
Yeah, they have been very accommodating, especially during this pandemic, of letting me work from home certain nights and doing some other things, helping me, letting me leave early sometimes to make sure we can get Joey everywhere he needs to go.
Having to leave early from meltdowns. Both of us have had to do that. There's just a lot of things people don't realize what it takes to take care of somebody.
Or for Remy to wherever he needs to go as well, because he still has stuff too.
Exactly. So oftentimes caregivers get depressed and they lose interest in their own self-care. And that's not good. Those are two big signs of burnout. And I want to talk about the signs and symptoms of caregiver burnout. And first, I'm going to start with the anxiety, avoiding people, depression, exhaustion, loss of control feeling, irritability, lack of energy, loss of interest in things you like to do, neglecting your own health and needs, inability to concentrate, lack of motivation, and feeling of hopelessness. Those are more the emotional and mental symptoms, and I have the physical symptoms here as well.
Several of those emotional ones sound familiar.
Yes.
For both of us.
For both of us, yes. Especially the holidays is a really difficult time for caregivers. Sometimes the person you're caring for lost a loved one and is lashing out because of that. Or, they know that they're losing their independence, and the holidays is a hard, stressful time for a lot of people. Some of the physical symptoms are increase in headaches, increased fatigue, increase in body aches, increase or decrease in appetite with changes in weight, insomnia, and a weakened immune system. And I'll be honest, when I'm feeling like I'm burnt out and I'm feeling like I'm tired and stressed, I get colds easily. I get sick way easily. And when I get sick, everyone else will just have a sniffle and I all of a sudden feel like I'm going to die.
Something I've noticed when my stress is up, because I don't think I've ever experienced true burnout, but I've certainly experienced caregiver stress. Of course, you'll end up not eating right, and I've been diagnosed with something called diverticulitis, and because of my unhealthy eating during the stress times, it'll lead to flare-ups, and those are incredibly painful.
And that also, like with your immune system being weakened too, that'll affect that too. Insomnia, there's times I can't sleep even though I haven't slept all week because I've been up with Joey. I get the night where I get the chance to sleep and I can't sleep because my brain won't stop.
I've experienced the same. I mean, my sleep is different since I work at overnights, but there are days when I would normally be sound asleep and I just can't.
The symptoms of caregiver stress and caregiver burnout are similar to depression. The biggest difference is with depression to caregiver burnout is when you get your break, because you need it. If you're experiencing these symptoms, you need your break. When you get your break, if these symptoms do not go away, please see your doctor. It's probably more than just burnout. Burnout can lead to depression. Absolutely. And, depression is a medical condition. It is a medical condition and it needs to be treated. But so does burnout. Burnout does too. But they're different. They're not the same. They have similar symptoms, but they're not the same. Mm-hmm. So make sure if you're feeling these things, make sure you get help. So, and if you are, this is what you need to do. This is what I did to help myself when I was feeling, definitely burnt out. Ask for help. I asked my husband and my mom for help. Mom, I know you have a lot on your plate. I'm really stressed right now. Can you help me? I will make a trade with you. I will take Meme next time if you can help me with the boys this time, please. And that's okay. Also, it's okay to say no. If you can't handle any more on your plate, don't put it there. Right?
Oh, absolutely. And I know it's I know plenty of people who want to always help, and they end up getting themselves in this situation where they have too much. Say no. It's not the end of the world.
I like my husband looking at me right now when he says that. You don't have to help everybody, Sarah.
I want to help as many people as I can too, but there are times when I've noticed specifically with her that she's got way too much going on, and I've done my best to step up, but I'm like, this is going to just drown us both. We need to say no to something.
Yeah. And that's something I'm guilty of. I try to make everybody happy. Not always the best thing. Because then I'm not happy myself. So I have realized that finding a support group, I can't stress that enough, which was a big deal. Mm-hmm. That was a big help for us.
Care coordinator has been great for us.
Yes. Also, the support group had not every session at the support group would we just sit and talk about, because I was really afraid to go because I thought it was just going to be like a situation where I sat and everybody talked about their feelings.
But no, they had meetings where they helped us get a binder prepared with everything we need to know for the boys, for their doctors, for
IEPs,
and everything. They helped prepare us for the fight we're going to have to get services for our boys.
The financial planner meeting too. Special needs financial planning meeting. They've had different ones. So, and I did make my husband go with me to the support group a couple times. But there's a lot of good information there and a lot of good, you say what's going on in your life and they're like, okay, let's do this, this, and this. And it's also, validating sometimes just to hear that you are not going through whatever it is you're going through alone. You're not alone. And there are support groups out there for everything. And I think that they have so many of them on Zoom right now too. Take breaks. That's the next thing on the list. It's okay to take a break. It's okay to get a babysitter. It's okay to call your cousin or aunt or sister or whoever and say, hey, can you stay with my mom tonight? Me and my husband want to go to dinner. I found a support group through United Services, right?
I don't know where you found it through.
It's United Services is where they met. They met in person. We actually haven't met in person in a while, but
since March.
Yeah.
February, actually.
But there have been virtual meets I have not gone to, but I have messaged and have been in contact with, the support group leader and stuff like that for different things. And they've also helped me, like, a lot. Like, they helped us get set up with resources that we didn't know were available, like care coordinators and things like that. It's okay to take a break. It's really okay. You deserve it. You're a person. You need to stay a person. Take a break. Don't feel guilty.
Sometimes you may just need a break. Using our example, sometimes you need a break. One person needs a break at a time. With the kids, there are times where Remy needs a break from Joey, and her parents did a great job of taking Remy a few times, and it allowed both of them. And when Remy came back home, he was happy. He needed the break. There's stress on siblings as much as there is on parents in autism families, especially where Joey falls on the spectrum. And there are times when everyone needed a break from somewhere. Whether Remy needed a break from Joey, we needed a break from having both boys. Her parents took Remy. He's the easier one to take, obviously, but it made it easier for us to focus on Joey as well. Remy got two people focusing on him the whole time, and it wound up making all of us mentally healthier.
Yes, that has helped. And then also just me, like, hanging out with a friend one night. Like, hey, babe, I'm going to hang out with this friend for a night. Is that okay? My husband, yep, that's fine. And, right now there's not really much to do, but, there's been times he's gone and done stuff, just him and Remy, or just him and a buddy, for his mental health. And that's okay. It's really okay to take a break. You're not neglecting your person. You're not neglecting the person you're supposed to take care of. You're just taking a break. It's just a couple hours or just a night or whatever. Take care of yourself. That's the next one. make sure you're eating well. Make sure you're exercising. You're getting fresh air. Make sure you're sleeping. That's probably the hardest one for us. And even eating well, sometimes it's not easy, and it's not always easy to find time to exercise when you have all these extra things you have to do. But you got to do it. Take your vitamins, brush your hair, brush your teeth, take a shower. Put on makeup if it makes you feel good. Dress up nice. Don't just, let yourself go. Do something for you that makes you feel good. Take a bubble bath.
Just remember, you can't take care of someone else if you're not taking care of yourself.
Exactly. Eat a salad. Have a glass of wine. I guess, no, that's counterproductive, isn't it?
What's counterproductive there?
Eating a salad and having a glass of wine.
People do it all the time. So if it helps them relax, let them do it.
Watch your favorite movie. Whatever it is. Call a friend. Just take care of yourself. If you need to, and I know that this one is super, super hard for a lot of people, take time off work. There are family leave programs if you really need it. Not all bosses are cool about that kind of thing, but I think we're getting to a point where we're starting to be more cool with emphasis on family and emphasis of taking time off when you're sick, because they're finding that if people are healthy, they do better work physically and mentally and emotionally, of course. So if you can take some time off work, if you need to, not just time to take your mom to doctor's appointments or take your son to therapies. Take time off to take a vacation. If you can, work it out. Figure it out. Take some time. Another good option, and this is something that we're looking into for Joey still, but it's a hard option to find, is respite care.
Specifically in this pandemic, it's definitely hard to find.
Well, my mom's got it from my grandmother, but it's easier to get help with Alzheimer's than it is right now autism, just at this time. But respite care is super important, because having someone, take your child, and I know that they have respite care camps for kids with autism as well, where they'll take them for overnight, or they'll do a weekend or a week worth.
I think we have one of those nearby here.
I don't know if it's an overnight one or not, but I don't think we live far from a respite care camp. Yes. I know actually our speech therapist last spring, when I was having my episode of burnout, I guess we'll call it.
Yeah.
Prior to studying this podcast and everything, I had an episode of where I was really emotionally overwhelmed and I was really upset, and I couldn't take anything anymore. And it was only the beginning of the pandemic. It was only what was it, June?
Might have been even May.
It was either May or June. It was late spring. And this is a little hard for me to talk about. I was really upset and I couldn't take it anymore. I was overwhelmed and I was feeling very depressed. And I really just needed help. I really needed to reach out to somebody. And my husband does everything he can to try to help. It just wasn't enough that day. And I had to go outside and I had to text a crisis line. And I sat outside on the porch and I shook and I cried for a while. But after I did that, I talked to somebody on a crisis line. I calmed myself down that day. And they helped me work on a plan. What am I going to do tomorrow? What am I going to do the next day? And what am I going to do the day after to make things better? And they were simple things, like things that I'm saying on here. Take a break. Reached out to my support group. Ask my mom for help. Say no to something on my list. Take a shower and eat something. I was considering taking time off. I don't think I did take time off work. No, I did. I took a long weekend. I asked my boss for a long weekend. I did. Yep. I got it. I got a long weekend. Respite care. I took Joey, the kid, my parents took the kids for the weekend to help us out on the long weekend and talk to somebody. I did. I started talking to my counselor again. And I also talked to Joey's therapists about this, which seems kind of stupid maybe to some of you, but they also know where to get resources that I don't know about. And, you know, when you're in the doctor's office with your mom and you're feeling overwhelmed, that's the time to speak up. You know what? Mom needs a lot of help right now. Or my son needs a lot of help right now. And I don't feel like I can do this on my own. I'm starting to get sad. Can you help me? They know where to find resources. The doctor's offices will know how to get that. Their therapists, their whatever it is, they'll know. They know other therapists. They know other people. Joey's ABA is how I got into the support group. You know, that's who told me about, hey, we found this support group. We think it'd be good for you. It's just something that's so important. And that's exactly what, when I was feeling all these feelings of burnout, overwhelm, and stress, these were the resources they gave me. They also helped me with financial resources as far as trying to find grants and things like that, and which we didn't get approved for any yet. But, you know, it was just like one step at a time.
But, you know, we might not have been approved for them, but we now know where they are to apply for them, which was a step ahead of where we were.
Which is greater than we were. Yeah, exactly. You know, I had a really dark day. It was more than just a day, but it was a bunch of dark days leading up to a dark day. But I took these steps and they helped. And I want to just go over them real quick one more time. Again, ask for help. Ask a family member for help or a friend for help. Say no. It's okay. You don't have to do everything for everyone. Find a support group. There's tons of support groups out there. There's a support group for everything. Take breaks. Take care of yourself. Eat, sleep, exercise, brush your teeth. Take your damn shower. Don't be like, my kids won't let me take a shower. Just let them scream for 5 minutes and wash your hair. It's okay. Put on makeup if it makes you feel good, whatever. Take time off work if you can. Get respite care and talk to somebody. For me, I talked to, like I said, the therapist, and then I got back into my counselor that I was seeing before. And that helped me a great deal. And later, like, I couldn't talk to anybody that day, but later that week, I was able to actually talk to my family about what I had gone through that day. I needed the rest of the day to just kind of like relax. But, you know, it's okay to talk to people and get help. And if you get to that point, the crisis line that I messaged, and this is something that I want to share, it's crisis text line, and all you do is you text home to 741-741. And if you're crying and you can't talk, text home 741-741, and they will text you. If you need a call, they will call. Also, I want to mention 211 is another crisis line. They have help and resources. They have help, like emotional support and stuff like that. I believe that they can get you in contact with like a crisis counselor and things like that. But also they can help you with, you know, financial resources if you need heating assistance and food stamps and things like that. So 211 is a good resource. That's also the United Way. So that's a great resource. The suicide prevention line, I want to put that on there because yes, caregiver burnout can lead to depression, which can lead to suicide. So if you're feeling this way, it's okay to tell your doctor. It's okay to get help. The suicide prevention line is 1-800-273-8255.
Which that comes out, it's 1-800-273. That actually spells out the word talk. So, which is good because you need to talk. If you're having those feelings, you definitely need to reach out and talk to someone.
Please, we beg you. And again, I'll say the number one more time. 1-800-273-8255. The suicide prevention line. And again, the crisis text line, text home to 741-741.
And also, if you need a support group, go to supportgroup.com. It will help you find a place like that. They also have the phone number. It is 866-940-8400 if you need to call them. And they have an app on the phone. Just download the support group app. They will help you find a support group for whatever you need.
Yes, and there's also the Family Caregiver Alliance. Great resource for people taking care of people with dementia. And Family Caregiver Toolbox, and the website for them is caregiveraction.org. These are really good resources. There is help out there if you are feeling burnt out, and it's okay if you are, and it's okay to admit it. It doesn't make you weak. I am not a weak person, and I just admitted that I had a weak time, but I am not a weak person, and I know that.
The strongest thing you can do is to admit that you need help.
Exactly. I don't cry watching This Is Us, so I'm pretty strong emotionally. But sometimes, my husband's laughing at me, sometimes, you need help, and that's okay. But like I said, this episode hit home for me. I've been there. Like, I've been to the burnout point. My husband says he has only been to the stress point. Well, I've been to the burnout point. I've been to the point where I feel like I have no motivation anymore. Like, it's hopeless. There's nothing I can do to make anything better. And that's a really crappy feeling. And the only way out is to get help. So please, for me, I beg you, if you're going through something like this, if you know somebody who needs to hear this, please, for their sake, let them hear this. It's okay. And with that, we want to thank you all for listening.
Absolutely. Thank you.
We will see or talk to you next week. And, if you know somebody who maybe they're too scared or is going through this and they don't know who to talk to and they want to reach out to me, I will talk. You can find our podcast at Caregiver Chronicles Pod at gmail.com.
Yeah, that's our email. Our website is withmywifepod.com. We have Caregiver Chronicles and other podcasts on there. And if you want to share this with other people, we are on several different podcatchers. You can send that out there, and you can find us on social media. We're with Caregiver Chronicles on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and we're also on Anchor.
Yes, our website is up and running, and we are transcribing our Caregiver Chronicle podcasts to text. Yeah, as fast as we can. Maybe we'll bump this one up.
I think that's a good idea.
And as transcribed, I think that's a good idea. I know that they might be a little bit out of order, but I think we're going to prioritize this one. Maybe we'll get this one up next.
Yeah.
Because this is just a super important topic. I know a lot of people are experiencing burnout and stress right now, and even just seasonal depression. This is a hard time for people. We've got the pandemic at one of the worst points it's been at nationally. We have Christmas coming, and Christmas is hard for people. The holidays are hard for people. Yeah, with that, I just want to make sure that, I get this information out there for people, because I just want people to be okay. And if you're feeling stressed and overwhelmed, again, reach out to one of those lines and numbers. Again, crisis text line, text HOME to 741-741. The suicide prevention line, 1-800-273-8255. 211 is a great resource. You could call your doctor. You could also call 911. The Family Caregiver Alliance and caregiveraction.org are all great resources. If you need them, they're there. And again, if you need to reach out to me, again, caregiverchroniclespod@gmail.com and withmywifepod.com is our website. You can send me a message on there if you'd like. And again, we will have our podcast transcribed, and you can find our other podcasts there too. If you're looking for something happy, you could listen to Racing with Remy, or I watched it with my wife. With that, we hope you're having a great week. Happy holidays, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.